Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yep. Before me and my son get ready, I'm get our day started. I'm always gonna read my Bible. It's the Global Impact Bible. Tells you effects that the Bible, Christianity has had around the world. And I think it's very important for everyone to realize that, hey, in the end time, it did say that, God want the gospel to be spread around the world. It's everywhere now. Easy access. It's just people need to take the time to seek it and read it for themselves. So they're not getting misinformation. And stop treating the Bible like it's a novel, some type of fairy tale. I don't that right there. People should not be trying to treat the Bible like, hey, it's a novel. No, it's real. It's real. But when people get together at these Bible studies, these social group gatherings, and try to focus on certain scriptures, you have a lot of people that go to school, divinity schools, and get those degrees, learn how to present texts and scriptures back to others, and they make it sound so believable. But don't get lost, because everyone has access to it by now, and everyone that has access to the book of life don't live according to the way of the world. And that was sometimes my hardest thing to see in my walk of faith. It was like, man, some of these ministers have their own wicked ways, but where no one's perfect. But it like you see more sinning going on at the church, in the church houses, because you've allowed certain ways of the world to creep in and try to reprogram it. And they miss out on a lot of the hidden message in the text, because if you read Proverbs, you're gonna get a lot of wisdom. You read Psalms, you're gonna read about your blessings and your covenant and the curses that may come upon you or others who challenge you if you are a true believer. Because once you read the book of life, you are held more accountable. That's why a lot of people don't take the time to read it and seek it for themselves. But when you read it in depth, you understand a lot of those books of the Bible, the lives that others, the miracles and wonders they performed in those people's lives, they didn't have the Bible. They just had a life, a prayer life with God through prayer, and they acknowledge Jesus Christ, as His Son. So you have to. It's very important to know that, and the Spirit is real. And like I say, man, I'm not perfect, and sometimes it's the ones that people overlook. And society may say they're imperfect, but God will say that He is perfect because of His shortcoming, not shortcoming, but because of His flaws that has strengthened Him. His His weaknesses that it may look like to others are really His strength. Especially if He's willing to show them to the rest of the world, so that when they see Him again as a changed man, as a true believer, then they'll know there was a miracle that had been performed. Like I say, I was brought up in the church, so I know my mama. My mama prayed the whole time I was in her womb. That's why it's very important before anyone lays down and conceive a child with their significant others, that hey, they know that mother has to carry that child. Whatever spirit that woman has, that's going to potentially come out in that child. My mother prayed the whole time she carried me. And my great grandmother, my grand Lucy, was a praying woman. So my mother learned that from her, because it's who raised her. So my great grand Lucy, in her prayer, she always said, "Lord, give my children common sense." And you have a lot of people out here that go to school that have degrees, but they lack a lot of common sense. Some of them can't even change a light bulb. So that's why it's very important for you to just be aware, be alert, be observant. Don't be fooled and tricked by the enemy, because they are out there. Wolves in sheep clothing really exist. And you have a lot of Christians claiming, you know, to be a lot of people claiming to be Christians, but aren't living that type of lifestyle. Like I said, I have my flaws. I make my mistakes every now and then. I have to ask God to forgive me. And that's why it's important, people, not to judge people. Don't block your blessing by misjudging another individual because you don't know that person's prayer life. Mm-hmm. I encourage people to go get the Prayers for Victory in Spiritual Warfare. Get your spiritual healing book. Also get your book on spiritual warfare to save our children. We have to save our children. And also get your book, your prayer that reroutes demons. Prayers is going to reroute these demons that have been loose out here roaming freely in the world, man. That's what I'm gonna focus on today. Plus, I have some writing I need to do. As I say, y'all will see me do. I got 3 projects. Hopefully, not hopefully. I know I've already ordered the equipment, but hopefully in the next month or so, y'all will see me do those. My air conditioning heat install, so I can show y'all those videos. And cause I try to wind down my year before November, because November is Thanksgiving, then you have Christmas. So when October hit, hey, the year ends for me. I don't do nothing on Thanksgiving and Christmas. I spend time for my son. I encourage y'all, man. It's a praying time, and that's the only way this world's gonna come back together on one accord. Is for everyone to acknowledge God and pray. Anything you spend more time giving your attention to is a distraction in your life that's going to weaken your spirit of discernment and pull you, separate you further and further from Christ. You have to feed that spirit, man, just as much as you eat, man. So, you know, even when you're out in the world, you're able to come back, because God's always going to forgive his children. But it's praying time, man. It's praying time in the world. Like I say, man, the effects is probably going to take place between now and the first of the year. So it's gonna really shake the United States. Really is. A lot of people came up during the recession, during the first term when Donald Trump was in office. A lot of people came up during the recession, but then COVID came when Biden was in office and shut it down. But let's not forget that second strand of COVID they always talked about that was going to be released. I don't think people are aware of that or know nothing about it. Sickness amongst the land, famine, job shortages. You notice AI is starting to replace a lot of people. This thing is serious, man. A lot of even with your school funding your federal fundings for your schools have been cut back. Your children can learn a lot online, have access to the computers and access. So, hey, man, that's the future of the world. Technologies has become that much powerful. Be aware, be alert, be observant. Get into your word. If you experience the future of natural, be blessed, be encouraged.